Greetings and salutations, fans of Dota 2. It is I, Badger, back for some more Season 7 League of Legends action. I am temporarily on my own, but I will be joined very soon by the one and only Sasquatch. So it should be a very good time there. Looking at the two teams we have, the Apesimps, who are 4-2, recently coming off a 1-1 series last night up against Nexty. And we have Nearly Tilted, who have not played many Dota games yet, but they are a flawless 2-0, so should be a fun matchup between these very two good teams. Looking over at the draft currently, we have a number of heroes that have already been picked. We are already in the second pick phase. Ran into some technical difficulties on Sasquatch's end, so we're temporarily waiting on him to join us. He is in the lobby, will be in the call very soon. So far, though, we do have an Ancient Apparition picked by Side of Apes, followed up by a Lion Puck, 6-7 and a Tiny 8. Nearly Tilted lock in their offlaner there with that Mars, nice and early. Bands, nothing too out of the ordinary. Magnus Centaur, Beastmaster, Undying, Dusa banned by the Apes. Lena, Axe, DK, Wraith King, Spectre banned out by Nearly Tilted. So we are simply headed on through that ban phase. Somewhat unfortunate. This is a situation where I do not have Sasquatch. It would be a very situation to ask him about some stuff, but that will have to come in due time very soon, I am sure. We do have Ember Spirit coming out though for Apesimps. Probably going to be the Breezy R middle lane hero, we're assuming. Obviously not Breezy R. Yeah, Breezy R middle lane hero. That's gotta be the one. I'm sure DOS can play a safe lane, but not really here. You see too much in the, Oh, we did it. And hello there, I am now joined by the two-time Lads champion and member of the Odds Otters, the one and only Sasquatch. How are you tonight, sir?
Hey, Badger. Doing well, man. I'm assuming you're streaming then.
Yeah, I've been live for about 2.5 minutes.
I see.
Welcome.
Oh, look at that. The stream just turned on. I guess you have some delay on.
Yeah, I'm forced to put on a 2-minute delay, so 2-minute delay it is. How are you tonight, though?
Doing pretty well. Just had a nice summer day. Took my dog on a long walk. Just took a nap. Woke up, made some coffee. Ready to watch some Dota.
Yeah, I mean, this is two of the very good teams in Lads. Two teams which I'm sure you have some familiarity with. Obviously, you have played with Jay before, correct?
Just played with him on Odd Otters, and then we were on an RD12 Masters team together. He actually ended up leaving that team, though. It was a little spicy.
I guess I will not ask further questions right now about that one. On the flip side, on Apesimps, I actually have a former Shazam and former Root Gaming player, Fun, who I'm sure you've played against at least a few times in the semi-professional North American Dota 2 circuit.
Interesting, Fun. When was he on Root? Root hasn't had a Dota squad for quite a while, so it must have been.
It was like 2015. Because when I played him, he was on Root, so it's been a long time since he's been on Root.
Oh, I didn't know. I know DOS and Skater, and I think Breezy R was on Wage's team. Is that true? Maximum Wage?
I believe so, but that was before my time, before I started casting like Lads and stuff.
Gotcha. I mean, my bias is probably towards the other team. I think I just know Maestro, Nier, and Jay pretty well. Hype is also a staple. I don't know Slendy. Is that his normal name?
He's like I think as far as I know, it's his normal name. He's like a give or take like 6K mid laner.
Oh wait, he's playing mid.
Yeah, because they have Nier playing carry and Nier carry, Slendy mid, Jay Meister offline hype 5. As far as I know.
Interesting.
This should be a very, very fun time. I actually am somewhat nervous for this cast. This is the first cast I've been nervous since season 12 of RD12 Grand Finals. It's funny I mentioned that because you were also in that series. You were on, unfortunately, the losing team, if memory serves. That was a you Devilis hanmingzyy team.
Yep, we were in the finals, Badger.
I casted that one. I was in the casting booth in that fine day.
Wait, Oh, that you played with Riles the season after. I'm getting things confused.
Yeah, I was on Riles for the season's 13 team, but I
Okay.
was there to cast him and hype and those guys winning the 12 team.
I got you. It makes sense.
It is nice to see you back, though, in lads. Obviously, you went through and went on a path of destruction the last 2 seasons of Dark W, and now you have returned.
Playing, but the Dark W squad still wanted to do it one more league together, so we opted for that. And just, enjoying lads as a spectator this season. Curious to see who's going to take the seat on the throne.
It's been relatively interesting because the presumptive favorite was Toxic Tacos. Obviously, they got second place against you guys last season, but they have actually somewhat struggled. They're off to a 4-4 start. This nearly tilted squad, though, might be the number 1 team in the league. They have been very good so far.
That's a new question. How do I meet you in game so I don't hear double bad?
You go into the cog symbol, go into audio, and there should be in the top right should be a mute code broadcasters option. You just check that little buddy right over there, and you should no longer hear 2 of me. You only hear 1 of me.
Correct.
Which is ideal.
Let's talk about this draft.
Yeah, what do you see currently with what Apesimps have in terms of concept right now?
To me, Apesimps looks like they likely picked Comfort. I like the AA Tiny opener because AA just needs somebody to control people so he can throw his death ball at them. Tiny does that. Also, the Magic Amp is really nice. On Nearly Tilted side, however, I feel like they've literally picked the most meta major draft I have seen. Like all of these heroes are superstars at the major. So this is like very on meta, I would say, with what's going on.
Does PA also fit that meta?
Not necessarily. I don't think PA is the most popular carry, but it is being picked a fair amount. I do know Nier likes it quite a bit, so that seems more of like a comfort style pick there.
I saw the carries banned, and I'm like, man, every meta carry is actually banned right now. What are they going to pick? But apparently they've gone for the PA.
I think the PA can have a solid game once she hits her BKB timing. But before that, there is a lot of magic burst she has to contend with. So it's kind of like farm up until your timing. Don't get bursted by like these nuker heroes.
If you had to pick either of these drafts to win, which would you pick here, and why?
I really like the Phoenix Egg or the Phoenix Mars combo this game because Radiance heroes don't want to build BKBs. I mean, I could see this Ember building a BKB. The Jug certainly won't for the first couple items. So is this Tiny a core? Or is he playing 4?
It's going to be a 4 Tiny.
I see. Okay. He's not playing mid then.
It'll be a mid Ember.
We got Breezy R on the mid.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so yeah, I really like this. Like not having no BKBs against Mars, I think, is a spooky concept. Jug is intuitively pretty good against the combo, though, so if he can get on the eggs in the fights, I think that's pretty good. But there's a lot of control from the Dire, so it could be hard.
Alright, if you are just joining us, welcome to game number 1 of a 2-game melee between Nearly Tilted and the Apesimps. I am Badger, I am joined by the one and only 2-time League of Legends champion and large brain gamer Sasquatch, and it's going to be a good series to Dota 2, hopefully.
Got boots on the Tiny, just running up the place award. No early game movements going on. So one of my favorite things in lads to do is just 5-man run somewhere, and usually end up finding someone because, like these teams are doing, they split up everywhere, so they're just all alone. But Dire's kind of playing pretty conservatively. Jay's sitting on a hill, Puck kind of sitting on a hill as well, near scouting out, but like has Phoenix behind them. So they're playing pretty safe. I'm curious if they're just going to stack up for bottom rune. It doesn't look like anything's really going to take place in terms of action for these runes.
It's actually funny that the Apesimps are not 5-manning at all, because last night I casted them as well, and they went 5-man early both games. But this time they're just getting a nice little classic D-ward middle lane, making Slendy's life a little bit more difficult. Even a tip coming out, 2 tips coming out, okay. They've done their scouting, clearly.
Started spicy, I like it. Wait, this is Skeeter 5 position, huh?
Yeah.
The mastermind.
It's been surprisingly good. It's been surprisingly good, actually. Like, I remember going through the season, I was like, Skater 5 seems awful, but he's actually been a pretty decent 5 for, a traditional core player.
I can imagine him just commanding with an iron fist, like full dictator mode.
If I had to guess, it would probably be Fun who's doing a lot of the comms, but I'm not in their team Discord. I would not know.
So you would think that because he has some competitive experience that you mentioned, but he could just very well be a complete ape. Nothing against Fun, but he could just very well be a fun guy, I guess.
It's certainly possible. One of my guys I've also commentated with, Artorias, has played in a team with Fun, and from what I could tell, Fun was fairly vocal on that team.
Okay, fair enough.
Not sure if that's changed at all, but from what I have been told, he is somewhat vocal. I'm actually curious. I've asked this exact question to a lot of different guys I've casted with. What's your thoughts on the sort of meta nowadays where it's like 5 simultaneous 1v1s? You see all supports trading in these 1v1s. What's your overall thought on that?
On the 5s trading with each other? I'm sorry, say that one more time?
You're seeing sort of like 5 simultaneous 1v1s going on where it's constantly supports trading supports. What are your thoughts on that overall in terms of meta?
Well, it obviously favors one side over the other because there's no way it's just like a 50-50 equivalency. This is good for both teams. So it's really up to the teams to decide if they want to create these 1v1s or they want to play a 2v2. Usually, generally speaking, if you have some like AoE control, the 2v2 can end up being better because you're just getting more value on your spells. But it is very, very draft specific. So it really just comes down to each lane and being like, is the 1v1 better for who? Or the double 1v1 rather, instead of the 2v2.
We're seeing a lot of trading so far, but no actual significant kill attempts just yet. Although Hype is somewhat low in the top lane, but he has plenty of region. What am I saying? He is a-okay. We are seeing the water runes come out though, so Breezyar and Slandy will be both very fine on regen. Bottom lane though, there will be a first blood onto Skater, Jay, and Maestro. A bit too much damage. We're seeing a spin from Doss though. They're running at Maestro, but Maestro's actually too fast. Doss lacks the move speed, and we'll even lose mana for that one.
Boots on the line, coming clutch.
Yeah, it's very nice to have against the Jug for sure. That's without a doubt. Which team here needs to really come out ahead in lanes more? Are both teams content with simply farming their cores right now?
I think the biggest thing we're going to see around the 5-ish minute mark, if any rotations come out from the Puck or Ember, they're going to get their 6s. Power runes are going to drop. That's kind of what is going to be the difference maker in these lanes. I think if the Underlord has a really good start this game, he's going to be very difficult to kill.
They want to kill Tiny, but there's no way to cancel that TP, so he'll simply TP away to the tower, rejoin his buddy Karan, and be completely fine there.
It's nice to waste some time when the carry chases the 4. Potentially misses some creeps.
Just drop the Avalanche TP away, no counterplay for them.
I'd really like to see Doss get some boots here and potentially go for an aggressive play. He's working towards that though, so it just needs a few more CS, but they could definitely try to find some opportunities here with just the initial slow on AA plus spin.
Yeah, right now we're just seeing a bit of passive laning, nothing too out of the ordinary just yet. Obviously bounty runes coming out for both mid laners, and every core in the side lane is relatively content to farm, though we do see Karan now contesting Hype slightly at the pole camp, launching out those creeps. And we're seeing a Hype actually grab the water rune top, but Slendy orbs top as well, so CZR will grab the other water rune, so I guess the play did not pay off there.
I'm glad you noticed that as well. That was a little bit of an anti-timing, perhaps.
I was like, this is a huge play from Hype. It means no bounty rune, or sorry, no water rune for the Ember. But then suddenly it's, oh wait, the orb went the wrong direction.
He actually stole his Puck's rune.
It's a very sad tale for Puck. Without a doubt. Essentially, we're seeing a spin bottom lane, but both Doss and Jay are completely fine. Nobody's dying just yet, though Jay is relatively low. He's taking that chilling touch, but a bit too much HP to die just yet.
And Jay opting for these raindrops. Normally, I am a big fan of these raindrops, but Skater has basically burned through them as fast as he could because Jay only has 1 charge left at this point. Might have been more cost efficient for some regen.
Dive going in there, Breezy's under tower, and he ends up dying to Slendy. Slendy uses the coil even, did not hit, but was not needed regardless. A kill is there. Now Nier's being run out top lane, but there's no mana on Fun, so... That's a huge play from Slendy. Breezy got real confident there, went for the dive there in that 1v1, but... I think Puck had a Fairy Fire and a 1 charge there, so it was just too much HP to die.
Yeah, I managed to catch the end of that kill. Unfortunately, diving and then losing the trade never feels good as the diver. But It's not too big of a deal. I think this Ember can still do a lot of stuff, especially if he manages to grab a rune 6 minutes here.
And looking at Radiant, they have a vision of the top rune as well, and Dire lack rune vision. But we are seeing rotation, Tiny hit at bottom. So it could be an attempt here on Maestro, potentially, or even onto Jay. First spike is there on the ancient apparition. Now in comes Toss. It's brought into Maestro. Spin is there from Doss. So Maestro's certainly dead. They now will turn to Jay, but Jay is still Mars. It is quite tanky. There is no Toss for 8 seconds, so Jay will walk away easily.
I was hoping they could find out a way to get both kills there, but Lion, they'll take what they can get.
Simply a lack of damage there. And unfortunately for Breezy R, it's not really a great rune to rotate with either. It's simply a regen rune, so no DD, no haste, etc. Simply a regen rune.
Bruh, gotta restart PC.
Guess we had a little bit of interim time to both talk about the game and talk about not the game as well. I'm actually real happy to have you on here finally, because I remember I've like talked about having you on here like intermittently on and off for the last like 3 months, where it's like come up in conversation. I talked about the Dark W games of you. It's like, hey, maybe we can cast someday, and I'm like, hey, maybe one day. And
yes,
at long last, it's happened. So I guess the wish list is finally complete. I got my Bulljacks cast a month ago. I got you now. It's like, hey, we're good.
Just need Puppy next.
That's a little more difficult.
I believe in you.
It was difficult enough to get you on here, let alone the premier Dota captain of the last decade. At this point, though, we are relatively even in terms of net worth lead. It's literally 300 gold in favor of the side of Apesimps. Looking at CS, it's very good for Karan, though. You surprised he's doing so well in this lane, or is this what you expected from him?
You keep calling Karen Karan, and I'm thinking of the book.
I've been told it's Karan because my first cast I said Karen, and he was like, "It's Karan." So maybe I'm wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it's Karan.
Karan. I mean, it is an A. Isn't Karen with an E usually?
Technically, usually, but it's. I'm sure you can pronounce the A as an A, you know?
True.
They're tipping Slendy. Don't know what Slendy said in team chat, but it's apparently listed in 3 tips.
He is down in gold despite getting that solo kill. It's interesting.
Yeah, that's not what you'd expect there, but Ember is slightly ahead in terms of CS. I believe like a few of those CS as well from Puck are small camp creeps, so
that's what I was thinking.
Behind. I haven't really watched Puck too much because it's a mid laner in 2021, and usually stuff doesn't happen there, but still. Lots of M's. How's your espresso anyways? Good espresso?
It's okay. We just got like this complicated, expensive espresso maker. And I'm blaming the coffee, not the machine. I think the coffee was the best, but it's still pretty good.
Oh, we've done it! We've returned to Dota 2! Doss has returned, G's are in the chat, so hopefully we get a little bit of action for the Oh, no, never mind.
So what I'm hoping happened here is Maestro, who just DP'd in, is like having like after the unpause occurs, everyone kind of forgets what they were doing. I'm hoping Maestro kind of forgets about this Tiny being in the vicinity and he walks forward, and then they just like toss him back or something. Just because it'd be funny. I'd love for Maestro just to get griefed by the pause.
He's like, oh yeah, it's dual lands, we're good. Tiny's not here, but Tiny's literally right on top of him right now.
Yeah.
He's going forward too, he might be caught out there.
And Tiny's pinging, let's see if it happens.
It's a good read on that one. Earthspike was used on Skater, but in comes Avalanche, in comes Toss, in comes Spear, in comes Chilling Touch, down goes Maestro, and well, good prediction, Sasquatch. Head in the money. It's now 2 deaths for Maestro in this lane.
Now he's probably complaining in his voice chat, like, oh, I forgot about the Tiny crap.
Man, why are they pausing, man? It's their pause too. Top lane Karana's being gone on, but he will do the classic TP away from those stuns. This time we'll be to the fountain though, so he will Dark Rift back to the lane, I'm assuming.
I hope so. That was a big... I mean, if he heals up and there's Dark Rifts, that seems pretty good. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, it's kind of like the Tiny can rotate, and they just have like a very easy, intuitive way to kill. But, I mean, even if the line rotates top, I don't know if necessarily they can just burst down the Underlord without like his team coming and trying to help him and stuff. So it's a little bit of an imbalance in terms of gank ability on the sidelines. And mid again, there's a semi-dive on.
He dodged Coil though, Sleight of Fist. Remnant is there, he's silenced. Oh my god, he got the Sleight of Fist for hype as well. My lord, what an absolutely great play from Breezy R there. That's a huge outplay. Now in comes Maestro, they're looking for a counter kill. He is hitting. Sleight of Fist is once again there, but that's huge dodge of the Coil there, my lord.
It was actually really beautiful. I mean, that dive worked out really well. 2v1 dive, still confident in his, conviction to dive, and it works out.
Maestro, though, will die. Went for the Invis Rune, paid for it. The bottom lane, Jay, in a 1v2, gets a solo kill on Dawson now. Did not expect that one to happen. I was watching Maestro die there. I'm like, oh yeah, it's the only kill, right? Somehow Doss died bottom lane. Regardless, though, Apesimps, pretty happy right now. They are up by about 1k. Up by 2 kills as well. Doss is struggling slightly on that jug, but other than that, they seem to be doing very well this game. Winner Spear bottom lane onto Skater. Jay's going in, has that level on God's Rebuke. In comes Maestro with the stun and the Hex, perhaps. Never mind, no spells, simply right clicks. Top lane, we are seeing a little bit of trading from the Underlord and the PA, but nobody dies there. But back to bottom lane, Slendy is once again there. Has Coil in 1, might use it on Doss. Jay is diving, they will go for it. Healing Ward is there. In comes Spear, misses actually. But in comes Coil, in comes Hex. Spike is up, will be used onto Doss. Doss is low, Doss goes down, but in comes Breezy R. Has the damage. In comes Omni. Actually, Doss is still alive! Killed Jay, killed Maestro. Slendy dies as well, and what an absolute disaster.
Wow.
For the side of nearly tilted. They thought they got Jug, they did not kill him, got the Omnislash off in time, and got 3 kills.
So Jug actually was 1 creep from level 6 as he was getting ganked there. He hides in the trees, and as the tower is killing the creep wave, connecting, it gives him 6, and that's what saves him there. It was pretty crazy. Plus the rotation of this team.
Yeah, they committed everybody there almost, and it was exactly what they needed for a huge trade there. Now if you're nearly tilted, its early game is suddenly turning into a bit of a disaster. Even now Slendy's being gone once again. Ice Blast is there. Puck's taking a lot of damage. And with the remnants, yeah, another kill for Breezy R on Slendy. Breezy R's under tower taking that Earth Spike. Dive is used by Hype. Hex is there on Breezy R, but he has a remnant. He can't escape. Use Sleight of Fist, kills Hype, and might even go over Maestro. Never mind, will not go for that one. But top lane, there's a dive with that Underlord Pit and Fun there. They kill Nier on Phantom Assassin as well. So across the map, 3 kills for Apesimps, and this game is convincing so far. It has been a very impressive minute 10 situation for them. If you're decided nearly tilted, what do you tell your team to start turning this game around?
I mean, I don't know necessarily they're in too rough a shape. It's just nothing's going their way so far. I think the next couple plays will be essential. PA also needs to find a lane where she can, sit in AFK farm.
Middle lane, Mars Arena is there, but in comes Breezy R trying to save his man Skater. Skater goes down, Remnant is there on Maestro. Maestro goes down. Now in comes Nier, rotates in on Breezy R. Jay is low, but he should not die here. Keyword is should. He will not die.
Ember Corrosion, Max Slight Ember is just slicing people.
It's a lot of damage.
I mean, with his DD especially, but, that's all he's running around and doing is basically just spam sliding and getting kills that way. And with like a AA ult or something, it makes it pretty easy.
Coil is up for Slendy, but the Mars Arena is still on cooldown for 50 more seconds. Level 1 Mars Arena, 90-second cooldown.
I like this play from Radiant, not forcing the issue mid, just kind of backing off. I don't think they want to overcommit at this stage. They don't want to give away the start that they've had by forcing the issue too hard.
They're playing very disciplined so far. Like a lot of lesser teams would probably just play full balls to the wall, go for a dive there in the middle, but they just back to the lanes. They farm on DOS. They even play Tree Man Dota on DOS bottom lane. Now they're going for Maestro mid lane. They just recognize that they rotate away from the mid lane, but Maestro is not dead. Chains did not hit on the Lion, so you'll be fine there.
Rotation bottom, they definitely should force this tower down mid. It looks like that's what they're doing, but the Puck spam is annoying. They're not really stopping Puck from killing the creeps.
Yeah, Slendy's positioned far away from the side of Apesimps, so he's pretty fine for now. They actually are rotating into the jungle, perhaps even for the top tier too. They have a 4-headed there now. We're seeing both teams are just farming a lot of jungle right now. We are seeing the Underlord rotate bottommost. Perhaps they anticipate a tower push from Dire for the tier 1. They have 2 set up and they have TPs on everybody else as well, so this could be a defense for them.
I think we're going to see a 5-man gank on this Underlord. And the question is if Radiant is properly positioned in order to defend them and get the counter kills as needed.
They have both supports there. Alright, in comes Pit there on 2. Arena was there. The spear was missed, and now Maestro's dead. Jay is dead. They're turning to Slendy. He has Orb, but he is tossed. In comes Killing Touch. Orb is there. He will jaunt to the side. But in come the Radiants. They're now looking for more, perhaps for Nier or Slendy. Both heroes should not die there unless the chain is huge. And there's a blink away from Nier. In comes Breezy could not get the chain off in time. In comes Pit on Slendy. He will jaunt though, and it's 2 more kills for the side of the Radiant, and they will try to parlay that into a bottom tier 1 tower push.
I mean, just going on the tankiest hero in the game, the Underlord, and there's an AA and Tiny lurking in the trees ready to counter-initiate. It's pretty rough, just all that magic damage with the AA and then the threshold popping and just killing Mars like in a second. It's crazy. This tower isn't too important, this bottom tower, but if they can translate this also into a mid tower and they get this tier 1 mid on Radiant, I think they're in a very commanding lead. Dire clearly still wants to farm. They're not necessarily eager to take these fights. Like, Phoenix Egg is up, Mars ult is up soon, but, you know, instead of defending mid, they're opting to farm the Blink bottom on Mars, and PA is just farming top, although he's being chased by a Tiny, which is very annoying.
There shouldn't be any damage for a kill, though. Now in comes Maestro to look for a counter kill there on Fun. Meanwhile, we're seeing Underlord go on Hype. There, my Hype is fine. He dives away. Back to Hype, or sorry, back to Fun. Finger is there on Tiny. Tiny goes down. And they might even look for DOS as well, but DOS is a little bit too fast to die there on that jug.
Radiant just trying to do a little too much there. Fun going top, and then Skater launching his ult bottom, trying to hit the Phoenix with the Ember. Just a little too spread, but not the worst, you know, just a Tiny death. That being said, Tiny not close to a blink at all. Usually you want to see a blink around 13 to 15 minutes on Tiny. He just bought a cloak, so he's not even opting to save for money at this point. Interesting decision to not even want to go for the blink.
I'm a little surprised as well. Breezy is being gone on, but he is an Ember Spirit. Unless they can silence and lock him down here. Hex is there, Coil is there. They're going to try for the kill. Sunray is used. Illusion Ring was used. There's a Yules on the Ember. He has Slight. He has Remnant perhaps soon, but he is still being silenced. He cannot escape just yet. Earthspike is there, and Breezy goes down, and that was some good crowd control. Meanwhile, in the jungle, they're going on to Nier. Ice Blast is there. Fun gets that kill with the Avalanche Toss combo, so 2 cores dying, 1 on each side, and, well, we may be at a bit of a push situation now in the mid lane.
The offlaners are dueling for some reason. They're just kind of alone 1v1ing.
That's offlane players for you. Both have no damage, both have infinite HP. Neither will die. But they want to brawl. I'm sure you've played more offlane players than I have, but have you ever played an offlane player who's not, like, wants to fight constantly?
Mm-hmm.
They're a different breed.
Yeah, I'd say most offlaners usually want to fight.
It's like, I'm just gonna run at the opponent, and then when you see 2 offlaners in the same environment, it's just, it doesn't matter that neither can die, they want to fight. It's for the glory of fighting.
We're opted for this straight into Battle Fury build, but I would argue it's not really paying off because just with these ganks, his death downtime's been rough.
Remember to kill middle lane on Breezy R. We saw the coil as well as the Blink Spear from Jay. Once again, fantastic coordination, killing Breezy R, who was the net worth leader, now down to number 3, and that is his third death of the game now. Yeah,
that's very much slowing down his, he was snowballing for a while there. Now just, moderately ahead of the Dire, which is still okay, but not as rich as previously.
Certainly on a hero like Ember, you want to be ahead as well, where your game's a lot easier when you're ahead versus when you're behind. He is still ahead, but that lead is shrinking rapidly.
Trying to get a kill on the PA top with the A blast and the tiny combo. No blink on tiny.
Go for the Underlord as well, but actually never mind, they're going to possibly just walk away. Pit is on the ground, they are TPing the puck, but puck cancel the TP, so Dire might not want to be here. They're deciding, like, yeah, we're gonna leave. This is bad for us.
They commit everything on the Underlord, they still don't kill him right now. Maybe if they have the Phoenix Sunring under the CC, and then like an ult on the Phoenix, but this Underlord with a hood and 1700 HP, they cannot go on him first under any circumstances.
Yeah, it's extremely, extremely difficult. You see a lot of these offlaners have been very tanky with Vanguard in this batch. He doesn't even have a Vanguard, doesn't even need it this game, he's just that tanky.
I would also argue Hood is pretty OP as well. There's a lot of Hoods, even on like carries and stuff, people have been buying Hood. So it's definitely a strong item as well.
Dire, they see Karan, can they stun him? Never mind, it's not in time for Maestro, and they did not have their Blink Mars in range, so they might go for Breezy R instead. Arena is up, Coil is up, Silence is there, there's Coil. In comes the Spear, perhaps. Okay, Finger will do it. That'll do it. Breezy R once again dead. Killing spree actually for the Lions, so Lions already picking up those finger stacks.
I commend Breezy for being as aggressive as he is. Diving the tower, like, all his deaths are these, like, aggressive deaths. He's, like, doing something, and then they're going on him or whatever, but, at least he's being aggressive and making space for his carry.
A situation currently where Radiant still have their lead, but it's not really growing. If anything, their lead is slightly shrinking, and Dire are grouped very heavily in the mid lane, perhaps looking for this mid T1 tower. Question is, do Radiant defend? They're certainly TPing to try. Underlord's on the way, Fun has already arrived. And Ember's respawning very soon.
I think Dire knows if the Underlord is going to show up, they can't really push into the objective.
Yeah, I'm looking at smokes right now. They have one in the backpack of Skater, and there's one in the inventory of Hype. So both teams have at least one smoke ready to go if they want to go for that. Instead, though, they have a chains there on Maestro. They have Ice Blast if they want to use it. Chilling Touch is there. Avalanche is there as well. Lion, very dead.
I agree with Maestro's item queue up here. I think that will help.
Seems like overkill at that point. Do you think he has 8 of them queued up, or even more than queued up beyond the 8s?
He wants health. He's sick of dying to these nukes.
Just spam click, queue up 100 fluffy hats. Just hope he survives with that. Alright, Dire are TPing in mid lane. Breezy R is alone. Coil is once again up. Cytophist is using Evil Remnant away, so good remnant away there for Breezy R. Fun, though, is on the way. Obviously has spells if he wants to use them. Though he does have no blink. Alright, Spear is there from Jay onto Karan. He's very tanky though. Coil is there on 2-2. Now in comes Maestro, has a stun, will use it onto the Tiny. But in comes Ember, in comes Supernova, in comes Arena. Maestro dead. Underlord low. Underlord goes down. Ember very low as well. He gets stunned by Supernova. He'll go down as well to Spear. 3 kills now so far in the fight. Nier goes down as well to Ice Blast from Skater. And now they're looking for a puck. The puck is literally a puck. Instead of toss in DOS to Hype. But Hype has dive, will dive away. So 2 for 2 trades so far. Now Radiants are the ones who are disengaging.
Strange fight where it was kind of fragmented, where the puck was, I believe, coiling the Jug and others on the sideline, and there's a fight going on in the middle with PA, Mars, and Phoenix against the Underlord and the Ember. The Jug really, ideally for Radiant, Jug gets towards the Phoenix and just slaps that egg down. So the Jug was really unable to do very much in that fight. And I think that kind of gave Dire more than they were able to get otherwise.
It's one of those things. It almost feels like Dire probably should have won the fight harder than they did. They had the Arena Supernova combo, and they only killed 2.
See, I agree with that, but like the Jug wasn't even in that part of the fight. So like the fact that Jug wasn't there, I think maybe even saved the egg in that situation. Because I was expecting like a Jug to come in and just prioritize that with like a spin, right click. Smoke on Dire again.
Yeah, they are headed into the jungle. Perhaps looking at their vision, they do see the Jug. And they also see the Underworld, so now I see 3 top lane. That top tower is, well, very deceased now. That thing is not long for life. They instead go on to Breezy R once again, though. Blink Spear was there, Finger was there. Breezy R is very dead, but in comes Radiant. They want to get a counter kill. Looking for Jay. Spin is used by DOS. Avalanche Toss is used, but Jay is still half HP. Now in comes Slendy. Coil on 2-3. Jay is dead, though, to that, I believe, Omni-slash damage. And now Radiant are still in the area. Maestro walks up, but Maestro needs to be careful. He will blink away there, as will Nier. These are really strange engagements that are going on right now, it feels.
Dire smoked in and, they ran into people. Funnily enough, I don't know if you saw how Skater approached that fight, but he ran in right behind the smoke and then immediately just exploded.
Yeah, I did not know. I was watching the fight near the shrine. I didn't even notice him exploding there. But
fragmented engagements going on here where, like, the teams are just not together and there's little skirmishes going on all over the place. Very peculiar.
It's certainly difficult to cast, but it's fun to watch. It's makes my job interesting.
He does have his blink now, which is very good for this Tiny AA combo. Tiny has been kind of lurking in the side lanes, looking to do things, but without the blink, it's really hard to jump somebody. So maybe they can look for some opportunities now with like the AA combo, finding some kills.
Looking at the Dire vision, though, they not only see the blink on Tiny, they see where Tiny literally is, so they will not be caught too off guard by what Fun is trying here.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Dire obs and sentries, and then look at the Radiant obs and sentries. It's like somebody's much more concerned with dewarding than the other person.
Dire's done a good job so far. They do see DOS, but DOS not an easy kill. They'll simply Mandarin the man.
It's gonna slow him. It's getting slowed.
I think he was like trying to force out spin there or something, but DOS did not care about, what is that, level... I said it's level 4 Mandarin, but he just didn't care anyways.
Ye has done a great comeback road here and is now second in net worth. Has her BKB, which I think is a very strong power spike.
Puck is now in danger. Puck has the Yules, but in comes Spells. Underlord Pit is on the ground, but in comes Maestro trying to save his man. Puck coils there onto, can he jaunt? He phase shifts, but cannot jaunt thanks to that root, and Slendy will go down there on Puck. Very good lockdown there for Radiance. They use the Atos, they use the Avalanche combo, they use the Ember Chains as well to initiate that fight, but now in comes Fun, has the toss there onto Jay, in comes S-Blast, will hit on the Mars. Mars goes down, Sunrays on the floor, but will not save Jay, and it's a 2-for-0 trade in favor of the side of the Radiant once again.
The root combos on the Puck are just too much. Like, it's so frustrating. You're just trying to like Q out, and then the Underlord W just hits you at the wrong time, and suddenly you're just griefed.
It's between the Searing Chains, the Atos, and obviously the Underlord Pit. It's just a sad game to be Puck, where it's he has Yules and Aeon Disc, and he's still dying.
Gonna lead to a free rush.
Yeah, we'll end up going to DOS, so Aegis will go to the Juggernauts. DOS is picking up some items, has that the Bee Fury and the SM1. Actually headed for a third item, Butterfly. That's certainly interesting.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. I mean, on one hand, it's good against the PA, but then on the other hand, and then obviously you can kill the egg quicker and hit buildings quicker. Helps with your Omni. But on the other hand, it doesn't help you survive against any of the magic burst from Dire, which is like most of their damage.
We saw an attempted jump, actually a successful jump onto Maestro. Toss was there, tossed him into DOS, but Maestro got a Hex off and Nerve Spike off onto 2, but well, Lion is not tanking up to survive that one, that's for sure. He will need a few more fluffy hats to make that one work.
He opted for the Vitality booster. It's like a combo of Fluffy Hats.
Fun is crazy, actually. Another toss play there, this time onto Slendy. Spear is there onto Tiny. Fun will go down. But we're seeing Jay in a very bad spot. Will go down as well to the Omnislash damage from DOS. That's 2 fights in a row where it's aggressive blink toss from Fun. Coil is now there, onto DOS, in comes Supernova. Might be a dead Jug here. Spin is used, actually DOS is completely fine. And they force out everything from the Dire, and Dire gets, well, nothing really.
Radiant can keep sieging with this healing ward. Oh, and the Phoenix fails to kill it. That's actually a very big deal. He swooped in, but didn't put it down.
In comes Nier, looking for Breezy R, has the dagger, now turns to the Underlord. Underlord, though, is literally an Underlord, and they will actually disengage. They will Dark Rift away, content with grabbing that T3 tower and seeing, hey, Dire are respawning. We're gonna leave now. And it's a clean disengage.
Alright, so it looks like DOS is not opting for the butterfly. He is listening to the cast. He's now going MKB. I like that a lot more. He's going to be able to just burst people quicker. It does give a little bit of attack speed to help with the egg as well.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense to me. It's the sort of logical tool you have to counter out the PA there in a man fight, where it's you have this 45% evasion here. It's like, hey, let's go through evasion. Problem solved.
And honestly, Jug matches up very well against PA once you have the anti-evasion.
Alright, they are going to look for Nier. Avalanche toss is actually only Avalanche, but in comes Pit, in comes Ice Blast. Mars Marina is there, hits onto 2, but Nier is dead, and they're not looking for more. Maestro is low. Maestro goes down. Remember has the remnant there onto Slendy, but Slendy is still half HP, though Breezy R is hasted. Chains are there. In comes Maestro. He did buy back. Wants to save his Puck, and Puck will survive, but Radiant are playing a very clean Dota game right now.
Yeah, the aggression is turned up with the Blink Tiny, and Skater's just hitting great AA blasts off of the CC.
Alright, in comes Fun once again. Oh my lord, that's a dieback on Maestro. Spear was attempted from Jay on Fun. It missed though, and now Pit is there onto 2. Neither should die just yet, if it will be a good amount of time. Remnant was there on the Hype. Hype is low. Actually, Supernova even forced out there. Hype will not end up dying like Supernova. Now Spear is there onto Breezy R. He's in the fountain. He's silenced. He will go down there on Ember. Meanwhile, his team knows onto the racks. The racks are dead. Range racks are very low. And Underlord has that Dark Rift in 5 seconds, so they lost the Ember, but it's certainly a very big win for the Radiants. Oof. Fun is great. This is fun to watch him play Tiny. Oh, they're still fighting. Underlord Pit is there onto the Puck. Puck has phase shift, but he is in danger. He will once again be in the pits. It will brood him. Chilling Touch is there. Cold Feet is there. Orb will be used to the side and will barely escape. Fun still wants it. Will not find it though. Now Mars Marina is committed onto the Tiny, but there is no way to cancel that TP, and Dark Rift will get the rest of the teammates out, and this is a masterclass of Dota right now from Radiant. They are simply outplaying a very good side and nearly tilted.
I remember I was questioning if Fun would be the ape in this game, but Breezy R is absolutely an ape. Like, this man is just diving so that they can secure Rex.
Oh, Skater's dead. Got destroyed there by Nier. Nier actually BKBs, turns onto Fun. They want another kill as well. Jay had the spear there, onto Fun. Fun goes down. But in comes DOS, has Omnislash, Hex is there, onto Jug. Atos is there into line, Chains was used, actually was missed, but Maestro is dead regardless. Finger was using the DOS. She might run into Breezy R regardless, did absolutely 0 damage. Now they move to Hype. Hype has no dive for 18. Will get spinned down by DOS. 2 for 2 trade. Every support in the game dying there in that little brawl. And if you're inside of the Dire, what do you do to win this game, or is it simply hope the Radiant throws?
I mean, I think they just need more time. They need more, because like this Underlord at this point is so tanky that with his max aura, even the PA is going to struggle to kill. Even the Jug is pretty tanky against like the magic damage of Dire at this point with the SNY. So I think they just really need time, and they need to scale up more. But I don't know if Radiant's going to give them that time, because they're just being so aggressive at this point.
They're looking for Jay. Jay has Blink on cooldown, but they will not find him just yet. Though, top racks cannot run away. They're starting to crack that top tier 3 tower now. Maestro delayed with the Hex, but they want to defend it very heavily. They perhaps want to kill Skater, but Skater is now backing away. Spear is there, now onto DOS, but Jay is now in danger. Pit is there, Hype dove in, but could not do much damage. Avalanche toss combo is a Maestro. Supernova is used, but Jay is still dead. Now Maestro, very low. Hex is there, onto Fun. Fun will go down. Meanwhile, we're still seeing a fight go on. Coil was, I believe, missed, actually. Now we're seeing a chain onto Nier. Pit is there. Nier is in danger. Will BKB will now turn on Underlord. Buyback is there from Jay. They want more. Mars Arena is there, but in comes Dark Rift. Can they kill Underlord in time? The answer is no! Hex is now there, onto Ember Spirit. Dagger is there. He's down to half HP, looking for more. Slendy has silence. Missed it, actually. Chilling Touch is there, but now he's going to be in the pit. Rough time for Puck. And he will go... Actually, he has a Yule Scepter. Can he jump out in time? The answer is no. He phase shifts, and he will go down there. Now we're seeing Earth Spike there on 2. But this is all Radiant so far. They still have the tools to fight. Ice Blast from long range. Hype may go down here, as does Maestro. Hex is there on a Breezyar. He has Yules. Can he survive? He has a Remnant and Sleight of Fist, and he will survive. And Hype will check out down to Ice Blast. Now Blink is in from Nier. Onto Breezyar. Breezyar still alive. Nier goes down though to that pit damage and the pit stun. And now Jay is being gone on. He's trying to survive. But it is an absolute disaster for Slendy as well, who tried to jaunt in looking for a kill, but now he's being isolated by Skater and Breezyar. Meanwhile, never mind, it's only Puck, who's trying to escape. Has that orb actually, so will survive, but that is now a second set of barracks for the Radiant, and it's a dominant showing.
Good. Skater's got 5 wards. Doesn't feel like dropping them, saving them for a hard time.
No, you can say it from the next game, you know? Bring him out for game number 2. Is he blocking the camp? Nah, this is an Observer ward. Never mind.
If I'm Radiant, I'm happy waiting for the next rush here. I'm just playing the map, seeing if Dire will leave their base. Trying to kill them if they do.
Question of the day is when will it respawn? Or perhaps their kill onto Fun. Spear actually was missed by Jay. Now they're still looking for him. Glimmer was used, but in comes Sunray. But now in comes the Ember Spirit, perhaps. Never mind, he's opting not to, but he's caught anyways by that coil from Slendy. Now in comes Karan, has the pit there, hits onto 2. Puck once again is in danger, now comes Nier, looking for a Skater in the backlines. We're seeing Supernova used. Hype though, simply healing his Puck. Once again, Fun is bought back. He's in looking for Nier. Toss is there, but a BKB is there from Nier. Now in comes Mars Arena. It's only at the 1, but it's a huge kill into Breezyar. And now Breezyar buys back, wants to fight, and this goes on Slendy. Looking for Hype. Hype goes down. Ice Blast. Misses, but they still want to get Nier. Nier blinks away. Meanwhile, back to Ember. He's looking for Puck. Going to dive tier 4s even. As that happens, Tiny looks for Nier, finds Nier. Never mind, does not find Nier. Back to Ember. Looking for Puck once again. Has... Never mind. No chains for 3, so... This is hard to watch. It's very fragmented once again, but...
Yes, it's fragmented fights. It's interesting.
We're seeing a 3-man silence from Puck, but it's to no avail. Actually, a root is there on Slendy. Slendy might just go... Yeah, he's dead.
Puck didn't orb out. Puck did not orb out.
That's,
unfortunate.
GG will get called, and for Apesimps, what a good game of Dota 2 they played there. I was very impressed by them.
Yep, I would say they were in a fairly commanding lead the majority of the game. Ember started out with that feed, but like we mentioned, it was an aggressive feed. They were always aggressive. They were pushing the Dire. Underlord was just too tanky to ever force a tower, and it kind of just snowballed out of control for the Radiant.
If you're the Dire, what adjustments do you make going into game number 2? Is it a draft adjustment? Is it like a lane adjustment? How do you win game 2 effectively?
To me, the biggest thing was the Underlord just having a great lane and then becoming this unmovable object where you don't want to commit spells to him because if you do that, you end up losing the team fight because you just waste all your shit on one hero. So I think the biggest thing is I would like to see more damage diversification. Like, I don't think Puck plus Underlord, or Puck plus Mars is like enough damage diversification unless the Puck snowballs, but that's not the case of what happened this game. So, and then you're just kind of relying on a PA who's getting nerfed by Underlord's damage aura to kind of like DPS through everything. And yeah, it's not keen. It's not a usual good strategy. So, I just think they need some more physical damage this game.
It's one of those things where Nier really wasn't online damage wasn't until minute 27 either, because that was the point where you had the B Fury, the BKB, and the Deso. Now's the point where you can suddenly start destroying these heroes, but minute 27, it was almost too late by then. you had to give an MVP for game number 1, who would you give it to?
I probably would say Breezy, honestly. Just being aggressive. He had quite a few bad deaths, I would say, but just always being on the enemy side of the map and giving space to the jug and pressuring the PA is like what it's all about. So, surprisingly effective tiny play for a 20-minute blink as well. I think it was like a 22-minute blink actually, which is very late. That's usually when you're losing. That's kind of like the timing for a blink. But Fun got a lot done despite not having one. He had almost 11 kill or 10 kill participation with no blink.
And once he had the blink as well, he went for some extremely aggressive plays on Tiny. You saw that first high ground siege middle lane was really predicated on Fun diving tower almost blindly into Maestro, getting a toss there, tossing the line into the Radiance, and then immediately afterwards, tossing I think it was Jay again. It was these two extremely aggressive toss combos there. It was really caught nearly tilted off guard there. They were not prepared. Hopefully, game 2 though will be somewhat more even, less of a calculated slaughter. That's probably the best way to describe game number 1. It was very methodical for the side of Apesimps, who are now up to 5-2 record this season. Nearly tilted. They lose their perfect record. They're down to 2-1, I believe. Yeah, they're down to 2-1. Two teams are currently deciding on their pick in their side. It looks like Nearly Tilted grabbed the first pick, so DOS will have the Radiance and Dire selection. Hi, hanmingzy's in the lobby. Hi, hanmingzyy.
I think he wants to join the cast.
Honestly, I'd be happy to have him on,
Yeah, let me get him then. Mr. Mike.
Just tell him to
That's great.
Tell him to join the broadcast channel so you can see the camera stuff and the lines, because you know how Dota is. It's a really series of drawing lines in the map and whatnot. I don't know if you watch many of my casts, but I'm a big fan of drawing a bunch of fucking arrows and boxes and shit as the game goes on, just to visualize concepts for the audience. Big fan.
Yeah, I like to draw. Drawing's fun. Wow, Caster's happy.
He's kind of busting my balls on that one, but honestly, it's fair. A lot of casters have not been ticketing games. Sorry, a lot of players have not been ticketing games, and they usually do not ticket the game 1 victory properly. So it's good to see.
Casters come in and say don't start the game. Just kidding. I hate that, but it's funny.
We are now joined by another 2-time League of Legends champion, the large-brained gamer, the one and only hanmingzyy. How are you tonight?
I'm great. I just got back from dinner, so I was looking for something to do. This is perfect. Watch some of my friends plus Jay in a game. It'll be great.
Should be fun to watch. I'm going to once again not ask questions regarding the Jay thing. I'm just going to leave that in the back burner.
Oh yeah, no worry. So how did game 1 go? What are the highlights? Just really quickly between the teams. Was it close? Was it a stomp? Or
it was very methodical from the Apesimps. They pretty much were ahead from minute 10 onwards, and they made very few mistakes in terms of mid and late gameplay.
Okay, I see. That's very surprising. I've been watching some of the other games that this Apesimps team has been playing, and it seems like they've struggled against a lot of the other teams so far. I think they were too old last night by another team, right? And
they won 1 last night against Next Day.
Oh, it was 1-1. Okay.
They almost lost 2-0, but they pulled game 2 out from a comeback.
That's good to know. But yeah, I thought that Nier's team was supposed to be, ranked relatively highly. So I'm surprised that they kind of got stomped.
I had them ranked number 2 in my preseason power rankings. I had them rated very highly.
Ah, I see. Okay.
I have seen you though in a lot of Twitch chats for these lads games. Seen you. I'm like, hey, hi, hanmingzyy.
Yeah. They're fun to watch because I know pretty much 1 or 2 people or a lot of people on every single team, so they're fun to watch.
I'm almost waiting for some final boss situation where it's the grand finalist wins finals. All right, now you must play the real finalist, Dark W again.
We come back just to play the winners of the season of lads. That'd be fun.
Fresh off a League 4 win, like, all right, let's go beat the lads champion again.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I gotta say, not trying to talk shit, but so far League 4 much easier than League of Lads.
Have you considered that your team is as good at Dota?
I mean, there's no way, because I'm like 5,100.
Yeah, Mike sucks, dude. Like, dude. He keeps like DP ulting by himself and feeding, and I get mad at him every game. Like, Mike, stop ulting the mid tower until our team is there. Wait for our team. And then he just ults and feeds anyway.
Exactly.
Big move.
But so far, the drafts is pretty interesting. They're just picking some meta heroes plus Tiny.
Yeah, the Tiny was very effective for them last game, so I guess it's a repeat performance on the Tiny. They will grab the Puck, so Puck will actually switch teams. Looks like BreezeR will get his chance on the Puck-based hero, so really tough to play against the Puck this time.
Yeah, and Hype's going to get his chance on the Ancient Apparition instead of Skater. I do like stealing the AA. I didn't get to mention it because we were just kind of memeing, but I was going to say that Nearly Tilted maybe should consider an AA ban, but opting to take it instead is actually, in my opinion, a better idea because I think this hero is broken.
Yeah, that hero is so good against all of these tanky cores and tanky offlaners from the meta, so it makes a lot of sense that it's contested.
It feels like this AA hero just almost came out of nowhere as well, where you just really didn't see the hero get picked, and then this patch comes along, and suddenly AA is this top-tier hero. Like, I remember talking to Artorias, he's like, I don't understand why AA is so good. He plays one game in AA, he's like, oh, AA is broken, I get it now.
I was a big the shard when I saw what the shard could do, where it just does damage over time on your vortex. It's very powerful.
Yeah, it's a very powerful effect. I want to now that I'm actually in the lobby, I want to watch this Tiny more closely as well, because Doss was telling me that this guy is supposed to be really, really good, that he used to be a amateur pro player or something like that, so I want to see his movements and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's a former member of many teams, most notably Shazam. But I played on a number of different NA teams from like 2015 to 18 or so.
Wow, that's impressive.
That's how I was roasting him last game because he had a 22-minute blink on Tiny, but he was doing a lot of work even though his blink was so late. It was interesting.
So late, was he feeding or something?
I don't know. No, he wasn't feeding, and he had like 9 assists and a kill or 2. So his like stats were good. If I was kind of confused why his blink was so late. Oh. Maybe he just like literally never had a wave to farm.
Interesting. So, who was the MVP from last game? Was it Skater? I bet it was Skater.
No, we gave it to BreezeR. He had a lot of high ceiling skill plays on Ember Spirit that game. Had a lot of unsuccessful dives, but a lot of successful dives, and it really opened the game up for the Radiants.
He was being about as aggressive as you can, and he was dancing on that line of being too aggressive and feeding, or like being aggressive and owning. So sometimes he was feeding, sometimes he was owning.
Against the Puck on the line, I'm surprised that he's able to do that.
Well, sometimes you slight dodge coil, and you look really cool. So.
It happened multiple times, too. It was very impressive.
Also, I'm surprised that Skater opted to ban Ember when they already have Puck. So, that's an interesting choice. Maybe they know something about the matchup that I don't.
No, I was going to say, actually, I think some people are opting for Ember against Puck these days because I guess maybe with like the regen change, it's easier to just like slide spam the Puck in the lane. I'm not really sure what changed about the matchup, but for example, Vici picked it into nothing to say playing Puck.
It's definitely Ember favored pre-level 6. But as soon as Puck hits level 6, as long as you can get one of the supports to come, it should be a pretty easy kill on Ember Spirit. But of course, there's a lot of complications that could rise from that. And then from that point forward, it's quite Puck favored in general, just because of Coil is so punishing for Ember Spirit.
It is still frustrating for Puck, though, playing the Ember matchup. It almost makes you need to buy a Yules very early.
Yeah,
the chains, that's true. Which means you delay, say, a Witchblade or a Blink or bots, which are obviously core items on Puck 90% of the games.
That's true, yeah.
Whenever I play Puck, if I ever have to buy a Yules, I am just crying inside. Let alone BKB, dear God.
Yeah. I do like the Abaddon pickup because right now the other side only had one stun, but now they have one more, so it'd be a little bit more challenging. But before, with just the Dragon Knight stun, the Aquatic Shield is very good as a save tool.
What about it against AA though?
It's not that bad, I think, because as long as your teammate is still alive, Aquatic Shield gives them a lot of effective HP against AA Blast, at least a lingering buff. So I don't think it's that bad.
Fair enough.
I think as long as your team itemizes a pipe along with the Aquatic Shield, it actually gives you a lot of longevity, despite the fact that heal doesn't work.
Yep. And you only mentioned the DK stun, but actually the AAQ, it's very nice to take that off as well.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And oftentimes you're probably using DK stun to chain into AA stun, and that shield gets rid of both, yeah, at the same time. Although so far, Radiant team, I guess the damage is kind of maybe lower than what I see. They just need to pick up some more stuff to combo with the coil.
Man, being the play-by-play caster and a tri-cast during the draft is so easy. So nice. I don't have to say anything.
Something dumb so we can roast you.
Oh, Viper is a really great hero. You know, he's a nice little B Fury buyer. Is that good enough?
Fury buyer, okay.
Viper definitely counters Dragon Knight in most of the game, but and it's a very popular hero in the major right now. Although I don't understand why it's that good besides for the break. Is there any other reason, Sasquatch?
I don't even think it's because of the break. It's just this hero that is like complete aids to lane against in the side lane. People really kind of discovered how abusive that hero is.
Yeah.
And then you're just kind of a bulwark in the mid game. Having a break is great because usually there's at least one or two heroes that break mechanic works well against in the enemy team. And you can also kind of itemize for whatever you need for your team as well. It's one of those heroes where the build is like super flexible. So sometimes in Dota you don't need a certain hero, you need a certain item. And it's nice when you have a hero that can have like high flexibility in their builds.
Oftentimes though, I feel like it feels the best to go either bots or Greaves on Viper to do one of those two jobs, to either sort of be the tanky person on your team to frontline or be the person that can kind of go to different lanes to help out with your high damage and stuff. But this game you can't really do the heal part because of the AA, so we'll see what he builds. So a Medusa pickup, I like that actually. Like I said, Radiant's damage was kind of low, so Medusa actually looks pretty good. Other than the fact that she's slow and she has to kind of stay inside Viper's break, which could be kind of crippling. But otherwise, I do like it here.
I think it's also pretty good in lane against Viper and Tiny. You could get tossed back and get killed in lane for sure, or just ran down potentially. But if the lane stays like stagnant, it's pretty good for Medusa because she'll just like spam W's and eventually connect with the Viper. And it, just range heroes against. I mean, in a carry world, ideally you're a range hero against Viper. It's not fun being one of the melee heroes.
Yep.
So Medusa, Drow, those kind of heroes, Luna even.
I agree.
It puts a lot of burden of execution on the Radiant offlane for Tiny and Viper to force something, though, because if Medusa draws that lane, it's an absolute disaster for Radiant. So we're going to have to see Tiny, who's going to have, 70 more move speed than Medusa with boots. Try to force out these toss plays, I'm pretty sure.
My biggest problem here is I feel like Radiant still has a lot of carry options available to them. I see some illusion heroes left in the pool that look pretty strong.
Well, I don't know if PL is that good against the Dire team right now, though. For example, I don't think you can Naga. So really just PL.
But also, like here,
Which hero?
well, I'm thinking. I mean, like even Monkey could be really strong here, or just like Drow.
Monkey actually does look okay, other than the AA Blast.
I like Monkey or Drow here. I think for Radiant.
Drow is good against Medusa, quite good actually.
Yeah.
But not great against Dragon Knight with Blink.
Certainly not, but
But actually with the Viper break, maybe it's not that bad actually, because with Coil and Viper Break, the Dragon Knight's passive is not going to be much of a factor in fights as long as his BKB is off.
Yeah. Also, there's like an ABBA just who's gonna be like ready to cover too. Whoever DK goes on, hopefully the DK with the Nyx. Like those are the two fight starters from Dire here. Lena pick is kind of like a solid mid, I guess. Has some like follow ups done to like the setup from the Nyx and the DK. How's the matchup against Puck these days?
Lena versus Puck is pretty even. They both have so much range and nuke damage that you shouldn't really die one way or the other. Lena does have a little bit more attack range, but Puck can dodge them, so it's not too bad. Vector.
Wow.
That kind of
interesting
accentuates the fact that they're kind of low damage for quite a while, so it makes me a little bit worried, but we'll see. If they do get the space for Spectre, she's quite good against Lena later. Like, makes that hero kind of sad, honestly. So if they're able to pass the stage in the middle where their damage is relatively low, and give Spectre enough space, then maybe I can see them doing well. But at the same time, you are going against the Medusa, who's going to be scaling a lot too. So I think overall, I like the Dire lineup a little bit more. But the problem is, Dire has a player who tends to walk down mid when he's angry, so that might give them a disadvantage.
Either way, if we had to, if we had to predict who was going to win off the draft alone, are we favoring Dire here, or we're all in on Dire?
Or? I'm actually going to take Team Radiant this game. I feel like Spectre is pretty uncountered this game, and I'm hoping Das goes like the Echo Manta Diffusal build this game, or Manta, or like I don't know the exact order. Echo Diffusal, Manta, Echo Manta Diffusal. But I'm hoping he goes like that kind of build and not like a Blade Mill Radiance build. I really think that would be a fatal mistake. But if like Das gets off to a decent start this game and then just gets like the Spectre, like the timing on Spectre, where you have these kind of items, he'll be able to just kill the backline, and I think that's going to be too hard for Dire to succumb, because I think they need their backline to like really effectively kill people.
All right, if you are just joining us, welcome to game number 2 of this 2-game matchup between the Apesimps and Nearly Tilted. Apesimps won game number 1 in dominant fashion. I am Badger, and I am joined again by Sasquatch, now also by hanmingzyy, and hopefully we are in for some more very good Dota 2.
I'll also say that I think this DK could Omega pop off this game if it goes long. A lot of these DPC games, like the DK starts off as a 3, but then when you become the BBD and you get like your BKB and your AC and stuff, like, or not even AC, but like just get some items, tank up, like you become a very strong late game core.
But are you worried the fact that they have stuns to keep him within the Nether Toxin so that his passive is not going to be a big deal?
Partially, but like, I mean, that's a lot of responsibility on the Viper. Meanwhile, this Dragon Knight, like in the late game, he's going to be like just flying around as a dragon with high magic resistance.
Yeah, once he gets the Ags, it'll be very difficult for sure.
If the Viper if they can't like actually just hold him in the break, I don't think it's going to be that much of a problem.
Yeah.
Seeing a Breezy R try to once again scout for the ward. And looks like they don't know exactly where it is, but they know it's somewhere. They try scouting here as well as over here, but they got neither. Keyword is yet.
Yeah, last time they did a good job of killing it right at the start.
Seeing Skater once going to go in shredding bottom lane. He has the Aphatic Shield on him, so that'll cause a bit of damage to Maestro at some point in this lane very soon.
What's the consideration to just get level 1 passive on Abaddon in a lane like this?
You really only want to do that when you isolate somebody and you can just chase them. Otherwise, it's just better to get shield for the trading, because the value is just too strong. It gives you health and it removes their health, so...
Right, that makes sense.
It's just too good for trading. But, when he's chasing this like Nyx around, it does feel good to have the E. But despite even if he has the E, I don't know if he could outrun the Nyx
Top
boot.
lane, though, we will see a first blood onto Hype, and Naratoxin will secure that kill on with the right clicks from Fun, and
Looks
Hype
like it was just
very
a
good.
toss back into the Viper, and then just walk down.
Yeah, they were
I was gonna say-
trading over here in the trees, and eventually I found a toss opportunity into the Viper, and it's too much damage.
I don't think there should be too much action bottom. I think both sides should not lose a hero, but top, Viper just introduces toxicity to the lane, and there's always a brawl. Somebody's dying.
I think the A has to expose himself to contest polls and stuff, so it just makes it really hard. So, for example,
They're
right
going
here, he
We
might
saw
just be in
another toss
trouble.
play into Hype, the exact same thing happened, but this time he will not die.
Yeah, he was able to sneak into the trees.
He really can't die here because he already expended his TP. That would be a very fatal to the lane mistake.
Yeah, I would want to see the Viper bring out some more regen right now, so that he has sustain to keep pressuring the lane.
Alright, this time around, they coordinated the double water rune properly. Breezy R and Skater both secure the water runes for the Radiant, so no griefing a mid laner this time around. Seeing both teams are pulling out to that hard camp. Something you've seen a lot in this recent patch or two, and both carriers are also contesting the pull, so it's nothing too out of the ordinary in this case.
Yeah, Nier actually got the last hit on quite a few creeps there, including the largest one. So, I think that pull actually worked out pretty well for the Dire.
Who is the carry you like it when they single pull and then they don't contest it and you just get like a bonus farm? That's
Exactly.
pretty good.
That's kind of like what you want to do.
Nice play from Fun here, immediately dewarding the sentry that Hype dropped. But now he has to sit here and kill the sentry, which takes 10 years when you're playing Tiny. It's kind of funny.
In the mid lane, it looked like that Lena's kind of able to pressure the Puck. Puck is still getting a lot of last hits, but his HP pool is definitely getting pressured quite a bit because of the larger range.
Slendy has been searching for kills. We'll hit the LSA here, but should not get this kill. Dragon Slave is up, it'll be a little bit short on damage.
Puck is out of regen now, so he won't be able to show very much until the next runes.
Seeing Fawn once again starting to fish for some kind of play on Hype. Hype is isolated again, so it might be a jump right now. Avalanche is there. Is there tossing the Viper? There is actually. In comes Naratoxin. In comes Poison Attack. Actually, he's a TP away. And Hype will survive, so good TP there. Meanwhile, we're seeing Lena once again go for Puck, but even Skater's there. He is mid laner alive.
Oh, and it looks like they're trying to make a play on the Lena this time.
Mana Burn is there on Breezy R. They need more hits from Maestro, though. There's no mana for an Impale just yet. So Maestro might go down there to slow from Skater. Maestro should slowly die. Once he gets... Never, the Impale was not hit. Phase Shift was there from Breezy R, so Maestro will eventually end up dying here. Actually, no, Breezy R rested the Dragon Slave.
And it looks like Slendy might get another pick off. No, he'll be okay.
Body Shield once again is there. Slendy is low. Skater is low. Dragon Slave is missed this time. Skater, can he get another kill? He will! A double kill!
Skater MVP. I can't believe the Lena misaimed you.
Oh
That's
my
crazy.
gosh.
Looks like
He must have just pressed it really fast and...
I was just about to hype up Slendy because like Slendy is like being so aggressive in lane, just got the kill on the Puck like out of nowhere. But then and he was gonna get a double kill there and look super Chad.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't work out. And
Top,
look
it
at
looks-
top.
oh.
Avalanche is there on
thought he
Deuce.
was
She tried
gonna-
the TP, but this time it will not pay off.
Get a TP out, but yeah, Avalanche or stuff.
They've adapted too. Multiple times they TP'd away from the Tiny when he used the Avalanche toss combo, and now he's holding the Avalanche. He's adapted to the way they're countering him in this lane, and now it's a huge kill there in the Medusa.
Yeah.
It's very strange for Nier to even opt for the TP, knowing that Avalanche is up. Like we cut that a little bit late, so we didn't know about the Avalanche. I'm not sure why he TP'd.
Yeah, exactly.
Jay's okay. These guys are just too tanky. Nothing's happening.
It's a DK.
I am surprised that the Dire's 3 cores were still on top. Now the Spectre is number 3, but in terms of net worth. Because given the way it was going. Yeah, I guess they're just getting more last hits in the lane, even though they're seeing a bit more pressure. And it looks like Medusa's now forced to kind of start jungling. Oh no, she's walking back to the lane now that Tiny's not there.
Yeah, what's annoying about DK is he's really tanky, but he also just has high base damage. So you can just like ignore the enemy doing anything and just sit there and deny all the creeps. And there's not much Spectre can really do about it because, yeah, you just don't have the damage or the nukes to clear creeps.
Alright, they're going to near again. Avalanche is there. Toss will be used. Karan has that Viper Strike. And now they're looking for the kill, but Dusa has that Mana Shield, and Skater is there. Sorry, Hype is there as well, and Karan will go down. Especially with the rotation there from Maestro on that Nyx. And Fun now needs to run. Actually, though, ends up dying to the damage over time from Viper. Now they move to Fun. Dragon Slave is there. The Laguna Blade's even there, so that's overall 2-for-1 exchange. The Medusa traded for the 2.
I think that still favors the Radiant since they pulled 4 heroes top. Despite the kills.
That was the haste rune as well from the Lena, so a good bit of resources was committed there.
Yeah. I guess then she could TP bait, but it looks like Medusa's gonna take over mid for now to have some room to farm a few creep waves.
Yep. And I mean, top really shouldn't, in my opinion, be going as well as it is for the Radiant.
Right, because they have 2 range heroes, right?
Yeah, and the Medusa was a counter pick, seeing the lane.
Yeah.
But that being said, despite dying, Medusa is still second in net worth. So they're down in kills, but they're up in the creep count. And that might be what matters. Yeah.
Do people still go the kind of Aghanims after Manta style build on Medusa?
I think so. Look at this AA on the run here.
He's been juking for a while. I've been trying to like catch this kill, and he actually does not die there. It's a miracle.
Wow.
Man.
Well played.
I am shocked he didn't die there.
That's ideal when you're 5 because all you want to do is delay the tower being taken. So if you're just messing with them, it's the best.
All right, in comes Slendy, but there's a toss Avalanche combo onto from Fun onto Slendy. Dragon Slave is used, LSA is available, but Laguna will be used, so Tiny goes down there to the spell combo and Friends. Another kill for the Dire. Now 5-4 in terms of kill score, though favoring the Radiant still.
It's good that they're finding places for the Lena to play because Medusa is just parked mid. I mean, she's going into the jungle now, but she took over that lane, so the Lena kind of needs something to do at the same time. And I think this is going much better for the Dire than the first game. They're just getting a better start in these lanes.
Situation where we're seeing the lanes start to degenerate, though. We are now also seeing heroes run to the jungle between the Dusa, the Puck. A lot of heroes are starting the jungle, and I'm curious to see if the Radiant can really shut this Dusa down. But the inverse is also true, is what are the Dire's answer for the Spectre? Spectre 2 is also in the jungle now.
Yeah. This Puck is very rich, but I would love to see a rotation so that they can also get Haunt used. Spectre does want to get involved in kills because that's just a way to generate gold for yourself is getting all these assists. And you can also like take over a lane because when a team fight happens, usually there's people dead, which means there's a lane you can go to farm. Right now he's just kind of jungling.
Yeah, Maestro's being got on top lane. Haunt is there. Ice Blast is on the way. Will hit onto 3 actually. But now Maestro is dead. Karan dies as well with that Laguna Blade from Slendy. Now Fun goes down. They're looking for a DOS, but the stun is not there in time from Jay, so only 2 kills. Meanwhile, I was going to say Skater's running it near, but neither will die there, literally ever.
Yeah, so actually going for that rotation, but Dire does defend. DOS does get the TP bottom, though, which feels nice because they all TP top, and now he does achieve that free lane status that we were talking about.
Yeah.
So he's feeling okay, but his team's sad they died.
I'm surprised that the Puck has not moved at all yet. Has he even used
there
coil?
onto Breezy R, but in comes Avalanche from Fun. Ice Blast is on the way. We'll hit on the Breezy. Never mind, will not. Mystic Snake is there. Breezy R will be fine. Coil actually missed on Jay.
Yep.
Went for the big play, slightly off the mark, and now ability is wasted. And now Dire onto that mid tower with the siege unit.
So one interesting interaction with the Mystic Snake is on Puck, if you try to dodge it, it will oftentimes come back to you again unless you dodge it for a couple of seconds. So it won't work until you have higher level phase shifts.
Alright, in come the Radiant looking to defend, but it's a good stone gaze there from Neater. Stunned both the Viper and the Tiny, so allowing Jay to escape. They're on low HP. Skater actually is looking for that kill, but that's an Abaddon. The hard kill he gets is an Abaddon.
Now Radiant's forcing mid.
This is big play time. They have 4 in the area. Fun. One's going to look for the Avalanche, but did not hit it this time.
I think they should be able to get this because it doesn't look like Lina is rotating to defense, and Medusa doesn't have ulti anymore.
Good sentry there from the Radiant. Spotted out Maestro on the Vendetta.
Now, is Dire actually going to commit before this tower dies? I'm curious. Doesn't seem like it. I don't think they really can because, yeah. Oh, they got the deny. That's nice.
Yeah.
That is something for sure. But it's unfortunate for them to lose map control, but at least the gold is not as bad suddenly. Speaking of gold, all the cores in this game, except for Viper, are very similar in net worth right now. All within 400 of each other. That could
I'm
change over
surprised that Viper is the lowest. He does have 2 deaths, but he also has 3 kills. So I'm surprised that his net worth is lower. It might just be because he's not farming as much. But with another Toxin, it should be pretty easy to grab a few jungle camps as you're rotating between lanes. Probably want to see that.
This farm will pick up with his boots of travel, probably.
Yeah.
Radiant is setting up to defend bottom, like Tiny TP'd there, and he's going to need friends to do anything, so curious what's going to happen here.
Like Puck is coming with the coil.
Skater as well.
Oh no, that was Skater, not Puck.
Alright, Skater is an Abaddon, very tanky hero.
He's just being a living ward, which is actually very powerful in this situation, because Dire doesn't know who's TPing in from Radiant, so like just the Abaddon like lurking and showing them is kind of spooky.
Alright, then now have Skater coming in, making space. Radiant, after getting a top tier 1 tower, are now TPing in, though as is Slendy, who just killed the mid tier 1 tower. Viper is here, Hasted Puck is there. In comes the Silence there onto Near. Near is now half HP. Coil is there, onto 2, they're looking for more. Snaps on Near. Now in comes Dragontail there, onto Viper. Viper gets a Luna. Viper is tossed away by Fun, but it's not in time to save him. And now, Dire want to get more kills. Can they get Fun, perhaps? Can they get Skater? The answer appears to be no, though they do get a very good kill on Viper, and they keep their Dusa alive.
Yeah, it just seemed like Dire was so tanky that Radiant didn't have enough damage to sort of take the fight.
They still want to fight, though. They're now looking, perhaps, for Fun. He's under tower stun, though. Jay is very low. Breezy R jaunted in, but lacks the damage for now. Now he's tanking hits from Slendy. Slendy has Dragon Slave, hits it on Breezy R, but it's not enough damage to kill that man. And the fight continues. They both are fighting heavily over this bottom tier 1 tower.
Viper is coming back again.
Alright, Haunt is there. In comes Doss. They want to kill. Slendy is low. Maestro is low. Yules is there. Jay is low. In comes Ice Blast. Hits on to 2. And LSA is there on 2 as well, helping Dire retreat. But Dire need to run fast. They're looking for Jay. Hype is trying to save them. In comes the toss, but it's only on a creep. Now Doss is stunned, still alive. In comes Puck. Never mind, he does not jaunt in. Now in comes Jay. Blinks in on the Puck. Puck goes. Oh no, Puck's still alive. Huge save from Skater. Jay is dead as well. What a huge save from Skater there. But Breezy R ends up dying to the mana burn damage there from Maestro.
Yep.
Fantastic shield there from Skater.
Big brawl.
Yeah, we keep seeing the into play that like Radiant's not having enough damage to kill these Dire heroes. So maybe once Viper gets something like an Atos, it might be a little better to be able to have more opportunity to deal damage.
They could definitely use a Blink on Tiny as well. This time he is only 1,000 gold away, though. Should have it faster. At least by a little bit this game.
That, but we'll have to see, sir. Maybe if he gets some more kills.
Blast coming bottom again.
Alright, they're not looking for Fun, but it's done instead onto Breezy R. Viper is now trading. Laguna is there on Breezy R. Breezy R is dead. Can there be counter kills, though? Fun is trying to survive. He will walk away for now. Jay is still in the area, but now in comes Slendy. Perhaps looking for Karan. Yules is there. Is there a stun? Hell yes, there is. Dragon Slave comes in. In comes Jay. They want to kill Viper. In comes Avalanche. There from Fun. Now Fun stunned by Dragontail. Fun goes down. 2 for 0 so far. And now this tier 1 tower is under grave danger. And Karan even TPs away to the mid lane.
Dire's just showing up with more people. It's as simple as that. But to be honest, I don't think Radiant wanted to defend that because there's no haunt, and they should have just kind of prioritized split pushing, in my opinion.
I
That being
agree.
said, they didn't. I don't think that it was the worst, just losing, your puck and your tiny. But tiny is just getting pushed further and further from his blink, and I think it is very essential this game. So that is a little bit concerning.
Yeah, I think my problem is like once Tiny and Puck both get Blink, at that point, Dire will be just that much tankier, and I think they'll have a lot of trouble taking fights even with the Blinks.
Skater, no Slendy is here, but it's not giving it away. Now in comes Karan. They're turning to Slendy. Sentry is their Viper Strike. There's a poison attack, but now in comes Jay as a stun there, and Viper. In comes Dagger from Doss. They want to fight at this outpost. In comes Fun. Avalanche is there onto the Lina, but Lina has Yules. In comes Laguna. There in Karan. Karan goes down. In comes Ice will hit on, I believe, 2 there. Now Toss is there on Slendy. Slendy's still alive. Turns on the Fun. Kills Fun. They now move over to Skater. Skater has no longer any borrowed time. Jay has Blink, has Dragon Tail in 1. Will certainly hit it on Skater. And Skater, yeah, absolutely dead there. It's a 3-for-0 trade in favor of the Dire, and Radiant thought they were ahead there with that Sentry Ward, but it did not matter.
Yeah, I don't think Radiant was on the same page there. I mean, like, that's the way that situation started. Like, Karen was hitting the jungle creeps, and then Skater actually is the one who starts hitting the Nyx, which, he doesn't really CC very well, so it's not like that was leading to anything productive. And then ultimately, I think Doss could have committed and killed the Lina and maybe even gotten out, to be honest. He was full HP, but just kind of scared about going in. No, he had no ult. He didn't really feel like committing his hero. But I do think if he maybe helped his team there, they would have killed the Lina, and then he could have honestly maybe just walked out of the situation. Tough to say, and he's prioritizing the later game, making sure he gets farm. But
Right, bottom lane, they are on top of Viper once again. Jay blinked in. In comes Ice Blast, will barely hit onto the Viper. Now in comes LSD from Slendy. Lagoon is up. And why not? They use it again. They once again kill the Viper. That's how many deaths for Viper? That is 5 deaths for Viper in a very sad game right now for them.
Punish for split pushing. The blink on the DK makes it a lot easier for Dire to start doing things.
In the look for Puck as well. Maestro's there with Vendetta. In comes Dragon Tail. In comes the Impale perhaps. Certainly actually not used. They stack stuns a little bit. Now Breezy tries to orb away, uses the coil as well, only at the Maestro. Maestro is low, has Carapace, allows Jay to get more hits on. Dragon Tail is there. Huge Carapace from Maestro, gets a kill on Breezy and now they're looking for a Skater, has borrowed time, but only so long that can survive. Ulti is pop, Fawn is Avalanche on 2. Will they pursue? Hell yes they will. Question is, can they?
He's trying. Looking for a jump, he doesn't see anyone though. Honestly, if that puck lived, I was going to be very disappointed with Dire for stacking their stuns so tightly.
Well, not only that, but Nyx, in fact, missed his first stun.
Okay. I saw the CD, but I didn't actually see the hit or not. So
yeah, he missed it.
Interesting.
But for that Witchblade Carapace, the puck would survive there too.
That's what I was going to say. The Redemption Carapace saved the day. Doss is going the build that I mentioned, by the way. The Echo Diffusal. The only problem is that he is not in pace with the Medusa. The Medusa is kind of well ahead of everyone at this point. And when she has her Ags, that is a very strong timing for the hero.
Yeah, if she's working towards that, obviously, Aghanim Scepter, Aghanim Shard combo, it'll be a very sad day. Beside the Radiant Fun.
I kind of think of it.
Dragon Tail was missed on Viper.
Yeah, he's kind of chilling. What's going on top? Look at this top situation here. There's an item on the ground. There's a neutral item. Who's picking it up? Medusa's getting the neutral item. I don't know whose neutral item that belongs to, but Doss decided to ignore it for some reason. Despite us pinging it.
Juices now. Alright, in comes Luna. She is invis. Finds Doss. Laguna is there. Doss is under siege. Stonegaze is used, but Doss is still alive now. In comes the Avalanche. There on Lena. Dagger's coming in onto Slendy. He has the Yules to dodge the dagger, but they're still going to look for a kill there. In comes Puck, has silence. In comes the toss as well. Slendy, monster kill streak is gone. And now, Puck comes in, looking for Near. Coil is used. In comes off. They're on top of Near. Diffusal is not up yet, but they don't appear to need it. In comes Jay. In comes Lester, trying to save. Doss is low. Doss goes down. Fun is low. They move over to Near. Near's out of mana. Can they finish him? Hell yes, they can. They move over to Jay. Jay is TPing. Is there a cancel? No, there's not. They instead move to Maestro. Maestro has Impale. Will not use it. Faked it out. In comes 3ZR, hitting there with the Witchblade, has the orb, has the hits, and will kill Maestro. Hype is in the area, blink in for 3ZR, and Hype is, I think he accepts his death now. He was going to be joining his teammates in the grave. It's a 4-for-1 trade in favor of the side of the Radiants.
That was well played by Puck, chasing down his targets.
Yeah, for sure. I'll also say, you know what? DOS may have not picked up that neutral item, but you know what he did do? He baited the Deucer to pick up that neutral item. And that started the fight. So you know what? That was all set up by DOS.
This was just being polite anyway, because that neutral item does belong to the Dire, so
Oh,
it
okay,
was just
okay.
being polite.
Yeah, he's just being a nice guy. He didn't want to steal their stuff. I get it.
And Das is a family man. You know, he's pretty old, very polite guy. You know, he accepts not stealing neutral items apparently.
I do want to flame DOS, though. He TP's out, which was the correct play because he was going to haunt back in after barely living from the Dusa. But I would have liked to see him sell an item and just get the defusal. Like, sell your Wraith Bands. And also, he haunted a little bit preemptive, and he was a little bit lower than he should have been. And when he goes into the fight and he starts frontlining, you kind of want your full HP pool. So I think, one, selling an item for finishing the defusal before the haunt, and then two, just getting full HP, and that he might have actually lived in that situation.
Yeah, I agree. And maybe just like better target selection too on the haunt. He could have just gone in a different position such that he didn't have to tank the full brunt of the damage, because the HP on his allies are still pretty high.
Yeah. I think he felt like he needed to force it, but he can't sacrifice his own hero, so he's got to be a little more patient.
But he does have the defusal now, so should be very easy to pick off the A and the Lina now. As long as he has detection down.
Interesting plays middle lane. Maestro and Breezy are in a bit of a scuffle. Quill was committed and just pop on Maestro, but now they're coming in with fun. Avalanche Toss are there, and Maestro was trailing Breezy for 30 seconds. Time pays for it. Now Ice Pass is there. LSA as well with the fun. Fun. Very low. Will go down from Laguna. Now in comes JS. Right until there. Onto Breezy looking for his Puck. Puck has phase shift, has Hounds, has Orb. Can he escape? He gets Yules there by Slendy. And Breezy should eventually go down here. Unless it's a miracle, he will blink to the side, and Vortex actually was missed. He will now jaunt. Cold Feet was broken. And bit of a good escape there, Breezy actually.
That was very well played.
Who needs miracles when you're playing Puck?
Yeah. Well, he is a Puck spammer. I think that's his most played hero, so he's quite good on that hero.
So we are relatively even at minute 23. Who needs to force the issue and do something? Who has the burden execution right now?
Honestly, it's tough to say. I think Radiant just wants to keep doing things on their CDs, so they want to always be playing around Haunt, and like getting Spectre involved. Because I don't think you just want Spectre versus Dusa AFK farming. So I would say probably Radiant has more to do here. DOS is kind of getting walked at. But
right, they go to Maestro as well. Maestro's Avalanche Toss. He goes down, but DOS might be in danger top lane, but in comes Breezy Coil on the 2. In comes Haunt. They're now on top of Hype. Hype is dusted. Will go down. Now the move to J and Nier. Stone Gaze still up. They commit it now, but now Nier is in danger. Viper Strike is there. He's being kited. He will have Mystic Fate, but in comes a toss from Fun. LSA is there on Fun. He might pay for that one, but Nier is running low on mana. Avalanche is there, hits a bit on 3, and now they move to Nier. Nier is low mana. He will go down. Question is, can they get a 4th? Slendy, they see him. Instead of they try to go for J, J blinks away, and Slendy will Shadow Blade out. But it is still, once again, a fantastic 3-for-0 trade in favor of the Apesimps.
Yeah, very awkward positioning from Dire, where they kind of got collapsed on while they were trying to stalk the Spectre. So they were just not prepared for that at all. And if you don't catch Spectre, she's just gonna haunt. Oh, that was a good A blast, but
Impale was missed from Maestro.
Unfortunately.
Maestro missed his Impale.
Oh god, Laguna Blade kills the Viper, and now they have a stun as well on the Breezy goes down. They're looking for DOS. LSA is there onto Fun, so Fun's certainly dead. DOS TPs in time. Yes, he will, but it is still 3 kills for the Dire. They get some counter kills, though they lose their top 2 tower in exchange for those kills.
Played by Slendy there.
Good A blast. That made those kills happen as well.
Too, yeah.
They walk into Roshan. They want to get more than simply 3 kills. They are in there now with 3. They have the supports outside the pit scouting. And Radiant, the defenders, they're not alive right now.
That's unfortunate. The A's Sentry just missed the op board, but it doesn't seem like it'll matter for this Roche. Oh,
Skater walks in there, but that's ambitious and will cost him his life eventually. LSA
Yeah,
is
he's
there.
definitely dead.
He's dead.
But that was a good attempt. I guess.
We'll go with I guess on that one. It was an attempt for sure, so no doubt about it. Not sure what his plan was, even if he grabs that, but hey, if you grab it, you get it, and then suddenly they don't have it on there.
Yeah, he can deny the Aegis, but I feel like the Radiant have enough stuns where he's not going to be able to do that.
Something now, Dire. They have a good window here with this Aegis, another 4 minutes, but it feels like they're probably not going to force too much with that. Is this maybe like an outer tower or two, or could they go for, never mind, bottom lane, they're going for Karan. Yules is there, LSA is there, Viper is once again caught, Laguna was committed, now in comes Jay, has second tail, Ice Blast from long range, will finish the kill there on Viper, and...
Oh, Lena's ticking down. Oh, she'll be okay though.
It's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And now Maestro is isolated, though it is only Breezy R there who cannot solo kill the Nyx at this current time. Mid lane, though, instead there's possibly an attempt on Dusa. Avalanche is there, Toss is there, Doss is hitting with the Diffusal Blade, but in comes Stone Gaze near will force the Radiant to run away for now. Dragon Tail is there from Jay, in comes Coil on both of those cores. Jay is quite injured, but is still alive. Radiant must retreat. And they will retreat.
Surprised Jay chose to stun himself there. That could have been pretty dangerous.
I almost thought if DOS ulted and they committed, they could have like fought that, but
I know. I think I would have ulted if I were DOS, despite being down one.
yeah, I mean, if I can kill the DK with my ult, I'm just gonna commit it.
Yeah, like because you know that Medusa already used her ultimate.
Huge LSA on the Pog middle lane. Laguna is
Nice catch.
fantastic play from the Slend. He was waiting in the trees there, waiting for that one. It was a very good catch there. Dead puck.
He's going for more. Look at him. He's hunting.
And once again, LSA on Skater. Skater has borrowed
Skater.
time.
Oh,
He tosses Skater away, but it might cost Fun his life. Dragon Tail is there on... Oh yeah, the dead hit is there as well. Fun is still alive, gets an avalanche off, but only delays the inevitable by about 3/4 of a second.
Skater thanked him at least for saving him. See, so
Is that even worth it for Tiny, though?
no.
You save your 5 in exchange for your life.
Not worth. Not worth. Certainly not worth.
I wonder if Skater had the opportunity to shield the Tiny there, but maybe not.
No, he got tossed really far, and he did try to help, but it was he was trying to help, but he couldn't though.
Oh, how was Skater's support / 5 play last game in general with the warding and like does he have a sense to go ward and deward stuff?
I was roasting him because he had 5 obs and 4 sentries at one point. But his A ults were good, like his mechanics on the A were good, but maybe some more improvements to be had.
Alright, income Haunt. They're looking for the Dusa. Dusa actually is fully out of mana, but now they hit the DOS. Ice Blast is there, Quill's there onto 3, and this is pop, but DOS is low. Elsa actually missed from Slendy though, so DOS is trying to run. Will take out that Ice Blast. Meanwhile, Puck, Breezy R looks for Maestro. Maestro is low, but Aegis is popped. Now, buyback from DOS. They're trying to fight. Dragon Tail is there, onto Tiny. In comes Jay, trying to fight. In comes Fear as well, but he's low on mana. And now, Fun goes down. Dire, though, starting to collapse. Lena is low. Maestro is low. Fun buys back. Down goes Nyx. They're looking for Lena. They're looking for Dusa as low. Dusa has the land. Tries to TP, gets the TP off. Now Jay is under attack. Puck has that Witchblade slow there. They're looking for more. Is there in our spell? She gets the blink off in time on Jay. The TP is there. In comes Dagger. Can they kill him? Yes, they will.
It was very, I mean, good attempt by him. He had the Soul Ring to get mana to TP. Takes his HP pull down even further.
Yeah.
Dude, Maestro keeps going back and throwing one last stun, and he missed it and died. I wish I could tip Maestro as a spectator.
That would be a different level of casting suddenly. It's just, they're to flame cast, tip the players who make bad plays.
I mean, this didn't get stuns too, but I just love watching these missed and pales. There's been a couple, so I'm keeping count in my head.
Overall, that was a pretty good fight for the Dire, though. They got 2 buybacks. So, definitely.
Their buyback is huge, for sure.
Yeah. Set her back from the Scotty for the Manta.
If you juxtapose as well, Spectre versus Dusa. Dusa's up by 4k versus Spectre right now. It's a massive gap there.
Yeah, that's like almost a whole item.
What is Breezy doing?
Breezy's under siege. He is fine though. Somehow escapes. Ice Blast on the way. Will it hits? It will not actually. So.
He was thinking about it. You saw how he was moving there. I mean, I think did they have a sentry that saw it? No. So he just was aware of it. I mean, just good heads up play by him, just to stop moving and be ready to face shift.
I wasn't even watching. I was like, oh yeah, it's Puck. Puck's fine. And Puck
Oh,
was fine.
interesting. Puck just sold his bottle. Oh, that's kind of early.
Guess he's thinking gold right now.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a sad day for Viper. He's bottom lane, sees Dusa TP's in. He's like, alright, I'll TP top lane. And suddenly Slendy just TP's right in the way from front of him. He's just needs to run away. Dual Scepter is there, so Slendy is going to probably just kill Karan. Ice Blast is there. Viper Check was used, but once again, it's a BKB used by Lina. No damage is done, and it's another kill for Slendy. Once again on Karan. Now the fight breaks out. Dragon Tail is there on Fun, shielding Zero from Skater. Now they're looking for Nick and looking for DK. DK BKBs. Haunt is there. They're looking for Slendy. Slendy is low, but he kills Breezy out before he dies, and Slendy's actually still alive. So is Hype. But Dire, they're on the run. Jay is low. Hype is dead. Slendy is tossed. Slendy goes down. So does Jay. And for Radiant, it is a fantastic fight so far. Actually, DK's still not dead. Huge stuns from Dire. Maestro had a huge stun there. Doss is low. Fun is low. Jay somehow still alive. Puck buys back. Hyper's back. Coil is there. Onto. Maestro goes down. And Nier is still fighting. Coil is broken by Fun, but Fun is low. Dragon Slave and Laguna are there on the Breezy R. Breezy R goes down. It's a dieback on Puck. And now Skater and Karan need to run. Lina has Yules, can Yules, will Yules Viper. LSA will be there. Impale will be there as well. Can Skater save him with the shield? Doesn't even want to go for it. Lets that man die and says, you know what? I will save my life. But for the Dire, they get the turn. They force out multiple buybacks, though it is at the expense of multiple buybacks of their own.
Very weird fight. I don't even know how that started, honestly.
The Radiant Wave went for a smoke maneuver, but ran into the Nyx and the GK.
I think
they couldn't
both teams smoked,
initiate.
right?
Yeah, I think maybe.
It was like right here they both popped.
It was right after Viper got killed, so.
If Fun got that tower deny, I'd be laughing so hard right now. He went for it. Almost got it.
He did get clipped by the Ice Blast, so he won't be able to blink for a bit.
Apparently he will with the Thought Shield on, though he is getting stunned for that, but he is still alive. Though, speaking of alive, the Tier 3 tower, not alive. It is dead. Netherracks are being sieged. Dire doing a lot of damage. Netherracks are dead, and so will the Rangerracks very soon. Alright, if you're Radiant, it has been a relatively rough turn of events recently. What do you do to start pulling this game back from this 9k and one set of barracks steps that you currently have?
I feel like you need to have a mistake from the Dire side, which is very much possible, but it's very hard for Radiant to come back at this point because of Medusa, really.
See a coil toss. We saw one earlier, but like not till leading towards a kill. But I do think if you can like isolate Medusa with like a good toss or something, that could be a game changer. Because they have the damage. It's just the the supporting caster on Medusa can help.
Alright, a fight will break out. Question is where? Looks like it'll be on top of Maestro. Is there detection? There actually is not. They silenced Maestro. In comes Coil. They're on 2. They want to perhaps get near. In comes Hump, but in comes Ice Blast. Now we're seeing an attempt onto near still. Stonegates was used, and now Maestro is very low. Das actually is not on top of them right now. In comes Dragon Tail. There onto Skater. Skater will go down perhaps, but so does Hype. Maestro has the Yules, is very low. Down goes Skater, down goes Maestro. Dosto is now under attack. Jay is hitting, Nier is hitting. In comes Breezy, trying to save his man Doss. To toss away from Fun. Dosto is still slowed. In comes Jay, trying to run at Fun, has that dragon form. Meanwhile, the Luna Blade is there, as well as the stun of the Breezy R. Breezy R goes down. Back to the Viper. They're on Viper simply walking away. But for Dire, it's once again a pretty good fight. Gee, is there more? Never mind, there's not more.
I think Radiant has to retreat.
They're searching for Radiant, but Radiant are retreating, yeah.
Yeah, Viper's gonna try to cut one more wave, but
It's an interesting reason to opt into that fight as a Radiant when Dusa had a DD. Maybe they didn't notice, but she had a DD for like the first half of that fight, and obviously that's gonna make things a lot easier.
Yeah.
Something else as well is they're making this very difficult on me. They're having these fights where you can't get the entire fight on one screen. So it's like, alright, jump back and forth constantly, catch all of the action, try to catch it, see what's going on. It's hard. It's making my life very hard right now.
Oh, you're doing a great job with casting though. So very nice job.
It's like making my brain over, like, there's too many things happening, send help.
So, with this Dusa butterfly, it's getting progressively harder and harder to burst her, even if she's isolated. I think they really needed like a sheep or something just to stop the Dusa from getting off her ult, but now that seems kind of impossible. She's just going to get it off every fight. It's going to be more about kiting her and killing the rest of the team.
Alright, Fun wants to jump there onto Hype, but A actually is a bit too tanky there with that Glimmer now. Fun might get stunned, he's under that cold feet, will get... Never mind, the shield by Skater, still alive, and in comes Near. Coil's there on 3, this could be the best chance for Radiant, but the Viper's already dead. Fun is dead, Breezy R is stoned, he will go down as well. 3 more kills for the Dire, and... they will now head into the Roshan pit. It is that second Rosh. It has the Shard, it has the Cheese, it has the Aegis, and... for Radiant, this game is becoming more and more difficult every minute.
Who's getting the Shard? Medusa?
Medusa, yeah. That's good, I like that. She needs it.
I'm not sure
what
exactly...
does it even send back this
actually,
game?
it doesn't do anything.
Like Viper Strike and Dagger?
It's just Viper Strike.
What about Spectre Dagger? Yeah.
Spectre Dagger, but she can kind of avoid.
What
no,
about
never mind.
Toss?
You cannot avoid it. I don't think Toss works, but I'm not sure.
Alright, Doss is looking for Slendy bottom lane. Slendy has the Yules, has LSA, but Slendy's in danger. Might have to use the cheese. But as that happens, Dire are in the Radiant base. In comes Spot looking for Slendy, but Slendy's in business. Doss is now back to his base, but he's stunned by the Dire. Titan Tail is there, Ice Blast is there. Doss is under attack. He's very low, and he will go down. And Skater's very low, so he'll go down as well. And, okay, Skater did not die, but it's an absolute disaster for the Radiant. Doss has no buyback, dead for 113 seconds. These T4s are being sieged.
I just gotta say, I'm very impressed that Skater only has 3 deaths.
He is Abaddon.
Yeah, look at that.
He is definitely Abaddon, though. Alright, it's defense time. Last defense, perhaps. Coil is there on 2, but Breezy R's instantly bursted down. Now Dire, they're still fighting, looking for Fun. Fun is low, Fun is dead. Dire, completely alive, and the GG is called. They accept the inevitable. Laguna is there on Viper, but it does not matter. They have evened the series out at 1-1.
Well played by Dire. Although I really feel like that was a draft win.
I think maybe I would like to see the Drow from DOS instead.
Yeah.
It felt like all of Radiant's lineup just wants to fight all the time, except for the Spectre, who wants to play on her ult. And when you can only fight 4v5 into the Dusa, then it's probably going to be Dire favored. So just Radiant being too dependent on Spectre ult and the game being slow. Meanwhile, Dusa is just getting to farm and scale. Drow, I think, matched the tempo better, and I think could have led to more aggression from the Radiant. Good series though. Some good games.
For sure. There was 2 very strong showings from each team. Apesimps had a very good game 1. Nerdthought had a very good game 2. So both these teams who are trying to vie to win Group A and Lads this season, both still in a good spot to do it. DOS's team, Apesimps, will drop to 5-3, and Nerdthought will now rise up to 3-1. But both teams are still in that good spot. If you would do get anything that either team needs to adjust for the future, anything comes to mind right now, or is it just both teams playing fairly decently?
It's hard to say, but I liked Jay on a more of a scaling core this game, the Dragonite, as opposed to the Mars, which does scale, but you kind of have to itemize a little bit differently, I think, whereas DK has a very natural scaling progression. I also liked the adjustment to take the AA. I think banning or taking the AA for Dire was essential. So that was good too. From Radiant, I think the biggest thing I saw was that the Tiny just had slow farm in both of these games. And I don't think that's indicative of his skill or anything, but maybe they need to prioritize his farm a little bit more so he can have a faster blink. And they can make plays around that quicker. Or just give him a different hero. So if he's gonna be more active and he doesn't need to farm a blink or something by sitting in the lane.
Yeah, I'm surprised that just looking at the end game screen, that Tiny has 47 CS and Skater has 69 CS. Those seem kind of high for support heroes, and especially surprising is that the Abaddon has more CS than the Tiny.
Well, I think like 40-ish around for Tiny is reasonable because later in the game maybe you start split pushing waves more. But like what I don't think is reasonable is like 20+ minute blinks when you're like having a decent game. Because like in the first game he was like having like a good KDA and like a good amount of assists, but his blink was still really late. So that to me is like his team is not giving him enough space to get it or something, or like they need to like slow down the game a little bit just so he can get his blink quicker, and then they'd be more aggressive.
Do you guys have any final words, call-outs, shout-outs to give to the people of League of Legends and Twitch.tv/BadgerPop? We'll start with Mike. Do you have anything to say?
Yeah, I mean this league, this season of the league was really fun. So I'm kind of jealous that we don't get to play in the games, unfortunately. So, but it's still pretty hyped to just watch some of the games. Like the series was pretty nice back and forth. So, it's great.
Sasquatch?
Yeah, I was gonna say something similar. I wish some of these teams were in the last season so we could play against them. But yeah, it's still like a good gang of peeps that are fun to watch. So I enjoyed casting.
And then obviously, thanks to both of you for joining me tonight. Sasquatch for both games, Mike for game number 2. If you enjoyed my casting, want me to cast your games, cast your tournaments, please contact me on Discord, badger number 5713, and I will see you guys tomorrow for Nearly Tilted Up against Toxic Tacos. Not sure who I'll be casting with yet, but you'll know that at 9 p.m. then. Have a great night.